Hello. So a little while ago I was very fortunate to be asked to help with the TV programme for the BBC, so I was very lucky. And they asked if I would provide them with an exercise programme. So what I want to do though is go through the routine now in a little bit more depth than's covered in the TV show, because I want you to get a better handle on how to do it, and I'd love you to have a go at it, because we saw great results and it works, it really does work. So the programme is based on something called PHA training, okay? And I don't want to go into too much fancy detail, but it stands for something called peripheral heart action. And basically what that is it's about how sort of like the body pushes the blood around the body, okay? So, and I've adapted the type of training, PHA training, so that it incorporates an aerobic component and a resistance component, okay? So you do them back to back. So you'll go from the aerobic component to the resistance one, and then go back, yeah, so it's like a circuit. And you perform that, obviously, as many times, I'd probably say about 3 to 4, depending on, you know, your fitness and your conditioning. So we'll go through that in a moment or two. The other thing I need to mention is something called an Rpe scale. And basically an Rpe scale, it's your rate of perceived exertion. So you're gauging how hard you're working at any one time. And the scale we use in the programme and the scale we'll use today is from 1 to 10. So 1 is next to no effort at all, and then 10 would be maximal exertion. So 10 would be that, you know, running for your life from a bear or something, okay? So what we'll do is we'll go through a very sort of like brief warm-up, and again I'll give you timings. I won't do everything to time today, but I'll give you the timings with which you should be doing the exercises. And I just want you to, like I say, I want you to see the techniques that I would like you to apply. I would hate for anybody to injure themselves or not be able to perform the exercises properly, because I'm a stickler for technique, and I would like you to be as well. So I'll show you a very brief warm-up, and then we'll get rolling with the main program. So for the warm-up, all I want you to do is quite simply, now the Rpe scale for your warm-up is next to nothing, it's a 2 to a 3, because we are just warming up, okay? We're getting the connective tissue, the muscles warmed up, and the blood circulating that little bit quicker, okay? All I want you to do is like tiny steps. I mean, your toes don't even leave the floor, so it's like paddling the feet, okay? So, again, you would do that for, say, 30 seconds. From there, you would go slightly higher knee raises, okay? So, nothing too adventurous so far. Hopefully you'll be able to manage that. From here, we progress to marching. So marching, or high knees, yeah, as you can call them, and I want you to get your arms involved. I want them at 90 degrees, okay? Right, 30 seconds. I won't keep saying that because you'll get bored to tears with me saying it. So 30 seconds for each of these. From there, we do small side steps. So you're just going side to side, okay? What I want you to concentrate on doing, you don't have to keep the legs perfectly straight, but you're looking to do something that we call hip abduction. So you're taking the leg away, okay? You're abducting a little bit, okay? So from there, then we go to a side lunge. So now we're going a little bit further out, slight angle on the lead leg. So that's going off at a slight angle, okay, out that way, that direction, and then we do an alternate. So we go the other side. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Right, everybody should be happy with those. They're pretty straightforward. You just drop the hips back, yeah, weight goes over to that leg, yeah, okay, brilliant. So, 30 seconds for each of those. Then what I would like you to do is, I would like you to take a nice long lunge forward. So you're lunging, you can either have your hands across your chest like this, or you can have them here. So you'll rotate over the lead leg, yeah, and then step back. And I would like to say about 5 on each leg. So you'll step forward, yeah, rotate, and then come back. May I suggest that you do one leg first and then the other? You can do alternates if you like, but what can sometimes happen is your balance just goes off a little bit. So always lead with your stronger leg first, lunge on that side, then go on to the other leg. From there, so this is still the warm-up, 30 seconds of each, pretty much. We can do these for reps, so the lunges and the squat to arm swing. So now, squat position, feet slightly, sort of, I'd probably say slightly wider than shoulder width. Stick your bum out, bend your knees, hands down by your sides, and then you're coming up onto your toes. Yeah? So it's as if you was going to jump in the air, but you're obviously not jumping in the air. Yeah? So it's a squat, and then you're coming up like that. Yeah? So you're getting the arms involved. Okay, so that's your warm-up. Your warm-up should take, actually each section takes around about 4 minutes. Okay? When you become proficient at this, if you have a go, and I hope you will, each section takes around 4 minutes. So that is your warm-up. We're warmed up, blood circulating a little bit faster. So now we're going to go into, as I referred to earlier, the aerobic component. So it's 4 minutes, okay, and your Rpe scale, so your rate of perceived exertion, for some of this will go up to as maximum of 7, okay, so you're really going to get out of puff. So the first exercise we're going to do, start here, yeah, feet relatively close together, and it's fast feet. So you're kind of on your toes, and you're literally, yeah, so nice and quick. Again, it will be for 30 seconds, okay? Now, from there, depending on your fitness levels, you can either have a rest, or you can do something called active rest. So this is then when you carry on doing some form of exercise. So what I would do, you do your fast feet, then you can go into high knees, yeah? So you're going to go back into your marching. All right? And again, you do that for 30 seconds. So, after either your active rest or your full rest, where you're just nice and static and you're composing yourself, we then go to pogo jumps. Okay, so you're literally on your toes, yeah, just jumping, yeah, up to that RPE of 7. Now, from there, again, either active rest or just catch your breath. So, if you're going to do active rest, what we'll do is we'll go back to our side steps, yeah? You're just ticking over. Yeah? I'll give you some lift music. So you just do your side steps. Okay, so from there, start with the foot back, okay? Get the arms involved for this one. So then we're going to do like shuffle jumps. So we're going to spring up, yeah. Again, 30 seconds. So, back into your marching if you can. Right, so now, last exercise, or penultimate exercise in the aerobic component, is either, you can do, I'd say star jumps, okay? So we'll go for your star jumps. So, nice and easy, nice and straightforward. There's nothing, okay, that involves a huge amount of sort of like technique in the aerobic component. That's the whole point. It's to make it so it's relatively easy for you to do. So 30 seconds of that. Then you can either have your rest or into your side steps. Right, so that's the aerobic component. Now we're going to start the resistance. So you will need a resistance band. Okay, so I know I'm in a gym and you go, oh, it's so much easier in a gym. I suppose you could say that is true, but all you need is something that you can sort of like loop it around at home. So it could be a heavy table leg. You can even get something called a door anchor, which you can loop it through and you can attach it to a door. Okay, so the first exercise we're going to do is something called a spear thruster. Now, when you're doing the resistance exercises, again, the intensity should be quite high. Okay, you're looking for that 5 to a 7. So you constantly ask yourself, how much effort am I putting in at the moment? Okay, if you're kind of like dawdling through it and you're like, oh, actually, I'm probably doing about 2 or 3, then you need to ramp it up a bit. Okay, the whole point of this style of training is to keep your heart rate up. Okay, so lead hand, underhand grip, okay, overhand grip, nice wide stance, toes on this leg facing forward. This one again, we're at a slight angle, it's a bit like a side lunge, okay? So, we start with the weight on this side, grab the band, okay, and what we're going to do is, I'll just do the legs first, we transfer the weight through, okay? Now, with the band, so we're going to transfer that weight, so what we do is, to begin with, we pull, 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 and then we push. Yeah, we extend the arms, all right? So, pull, and then push. Okay, so you would do 30 seconds on that side, and then you do 30 seconds obviously on the other leg. So the next exercise, so now if you've got a set of stairs, you could, if you're doing this at home, you could go around a banister rail or something. So the next exercise, underhand grip, we're going to do something called a face pull and a split squat. So leg goes back, like so. Okay, I'm going to move back a little bit. Arms in front of you, like that. And what you're doing is you're pulling towards your face, and ultimately what you're aiming for is you're aiming for your hands to go a little bit further back than your elbows. So we pull, like so, okay. Now, if you're able to, you could perform the split squat with the tension on the band. If it's too difficult, okay, do the face pull, ease off the tension, come down, yeah. So we pull, squat down, and push up, okay. So that is your second exercise in the resistance component. I'm just going to refer to my list, which I've got below, because I want to make sure I get these in the right order. Okay, so now the next exercise, the band is going around your back and under your armpits. So what we're going to do now, underhand grip of the band, start with your feet relatively close together. And we're going to do an alternate side lunge with a chest press. Okay, so stand in this position, you side lunge, yeah, we've already done a lunge. So now we're pushing out, we cross the arms over, okay, and then come back, and then we go on the other side. So side lunge, push the arms forward, cross over, and then come back. I'll do one more on each side. Make sure you've got enough tension in the band. Okay, don't cheat yourselves. Like I say, get the Rpe scale. You've got to put a certain amount of effort in, else you won't see any adaptation. Okay, so you're starting with the feet relatively close together. Okay, so we side lunge, push the arms forward, cross over, and then come back to the center line. Other side. Yep. Good. I'm assuming you get a handle of that. Right, okay, so next, hands about 5 to 6, that's probably a bit more actually, isn't it? 6 to 8? 6 to 8 inches apart, okay? And I'll do this in profile so as you can get an idea of what's going on. So you want your elbows tight to the side of your body and at 90 degrees. Now what you're going to do is with your arms in that position, you're going to put a little bit of tension on the band, okay? So shoulders are back, yeah, they're nice and set. A little bit of tension on the band, okay? Yeah, and then you're going to draw it in. So that's the row, okay? So tension on the band, bring it in. Right, so we're going to combine that with a reverse lunge. So we start in this position, nice and tall, nice long lunge back, yeah? Right, now we put the row in. So tension on the band, draw it back towards the top of the abdominals, bring it forward, yeah? And come up. And again, so slight tension on the band, go back, increase that tension, draw it back towards the top of the abdominals, come forward, yeah? One more, let's do it again, because this is probably the more trickier one, to be honest. So, start in this position, nice and tall, make sure you've got a little bit of tension on that band. It shouldn't be floppy to begin with. So we lunge back, tension on the band now, we're pulling it apart, draw it back towards the top of the abs, hold it there, squeeze, 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 squeeze with your shoulders and back, yeah? Bring it forward and then come up. Last exercise of the resistance component. Okay, so now, overhand, yeah, hands near sort of like slightly wider than shoulder width apart. And what we're going to do, we're going to squat down and then we're going to come up to a press. So you want to keep a little bit of tension on the band the whole time. So, feet slightly wider than shoulder width, okay? I'll do this in profile again in a second. But what I want you to do, start getting your hips back, okay? So, what I want you to do, your knees and hips almost sort of like what we call break at the same time. So you're going down, yeah, you squat down, come up, push the band, yeah, up above your head and pull it apart at the same time. So we're here, yeah, keep a little bit of tension on that band, squat down, yeah, get a nice squat in there, come up, tension on the band, push, 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 go over your head. We'll do one more. So squat down, yeah, come up, push, push, push. That's it, okay? So those are your 5, I'm hoping there was 5 there, 5 resistance exercises. So now what I would do, ordinarily, go back to the aerobic component, okay? So one circuit is the aerobic and the resistance component, okay, together. So I'd now go back to the aerobic component and I'd go back into my fast feet and then I'd go back onto the resistance exercises again. I hope that makes sense. It shouldn't be too complicated. Don't forget, I won't do some stretches today because I've just got to keep this relatively sort of like short and sweet. But then after you've done the exercises, do some static stretches, you know, the classic sort of like tricep ones and quads and things like that, okay? So, yeah, I hope that helps. Have a go at it. Keep the technique spot on. Please, please, please. Okay? Take care.